Hello students. Today my topic is finite automata with output. Basically this is a very important topic of theory of automata and formal language. और इस टॉपिक से बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन आपके यूनिवर्सिटी एग्जाम में पूछे जाते हैं, इसलिए इस टॉपिक को हम बहुत ही शार्ट पार्ट में डिस्कस करेंगे और इसमें क्या क्या क्वेश्चन आएंगे उसको भी हम डिस्कस करेंगे. बेसिकली फाइनाइट स्टेट मशीन को बेसिकली टू कैटेगरीज में डिवाइड करते हैं. फाइनाइट ऑटोमेटा categorized in two parts. One is the finite automata without output. Finite automata without output. और second is the finite automata with output. Finite automata with output. फाइनाइट ऑटोमेटा को टू पार्ट्स में हम डिस्कस बेसिकली कैटेगराइज करते हैं. वन इज द फाइनाइट ऑटोमेटा विदाउट आउटपुट और सेकंड इज द फाइनाइट ऑटोमेटा विद आउटपुट. बेसिकली फाइनाइट ऑटोमेटा को इसको हम आज बेसिकली फाइनाइट ऑटोमेटा को हम एक्सेप्टर भी बोलते हैं, फाइनाइट ऑटोमेटा विदाउट आउटपुट को, और फाइनाइट ऑटोमेटा विद आउटपुट को बेसिकली हम ट्रांसड्यूसर बोलते हैं. ट्रांसड्यूसर बेसिकली फाइनाइट ऑटोमेटा विदाउट आउटपुट में हमारी दो कैटेगरीज बेसिकली डिटरमाइन की गई हैं. वन इज द टर्म डीएफए एंड सेकेंड इज द term NFE, deterministic finite automata and non-deterministic finite automata. And finite automata with output में there is the two categories. First is the Moore machine and second is the Melee machine. Moore machine and Melee machine. Now I will come on the topic that is the Moore machine. What is Moore machine? Basically Moore machine is a finite state machine. Moore machine is a finite state machine that's output depends on its current states. Basically Moore machine is a finite state machine that's output is depends on its correct states. Basically this is the model. एक मॉडल है, इसके बेसिस पे हम मोरे मशीन्स को समझेंगे कि इसका आउटपुट कैसे डिक्लेयर होता है, कैसे ट्रांजिशन फंक्शन परफॉर्म होते हैं, कौन कौन से टपल्स हम यूज करते हैं. तो प्रेजेंटली आप इतना समझिए कि मोरे मशीन बेसिकली आउटपुट डिटरमाइन करती है और मिले मशीन भी आउटपुट डिटरमाइन करते हैं, ठीक है. लेकिन बट मोरे मशीन का आउटपुट उसकी करंट स्टेट पर डिपेंड करता है और मिले मशीन का आउटपुट इसकी करंट स्टेट और करंट इनपुट पर डिपेंड करता है. दैट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द मोरे मशीन एंड मिले मशीन. नाउ व्हाट इज द मोरे मशीन? दैट इज द फाइनाइट स्टेट मशीन. Finite state machine, it's gives the output by its present state. It gives the output by its present state. This is the definition of Moore machine. Basically, this is the automata. That's the finite automata without. Okay. Now we will come on the topic tuples. Tuples of Moore machine. Tuples of Moore machine. Q tuples of Moore machine, that is the Moore machine. M Q set of state, sigma input symbol, that is a del transition function, initial state, output symbol, that is the delta, and this is the lambda, that is the output function. What is the Q? Where Q is the set of state. Q is the set of state. Q is the set of state. Basically, in this diagram, in this finite state machine, the set of state is the Q naught, Q1, and Q2. This is the states Q naught. This is the initial state, and next is the Q1. This is the Q1, and this is the Q2. Q2. This is the Q. Q is the set of state. What is the? This is the sigma. Basically, this is the symbol. Sigma is the input symbol. Input symbol. Sigma is the input symbol. In this diagram, the sigma is, that is the input symbol. This is the input symbol. Present state in this diagram. This is the present state. That is the also initial state Q naught, and this is the output. This is the output. This is the output. And this is the input symbol. तो input symbol is the 0 1. इनपुट सिंबल मीन्स हम अभी हमारी स्टेट क्यू नॉट है, हमने 0 इनपुट दिया, देन हमारी स्टेट क्यू नॉट ही है, और इस केस पर हमारा जो आउटपुट डिटरमाइन हो रहा है दैट इज द ए. तो इनपुट हमारा यहाँ पर 0 है, इस केस पर 1 है, इस केस पर 1 है, इस केस पर Q2 पर हम आउटपुट भी पा रहे हैं, लेकिन इसका इनपुट 0 पे हम फाइंड जो हमारी स्टेट मूव हो रही है दैट इज क्यू नॉट. तो हमारे पास टोटली जो इनपुट सिंबल है इस डायग्राम के बेसिस पे 0 and 1. Q is the set of state, sigma is the input alphabet. Okay, now I will come on the del, that is the transition function. In this case, transition perform on the states and the basis of the input symbol that we move on the Q. That is the next state. How transition perform? Here is the states Q naught, that is the input symbol is the 0, Q naught, input symbol is the 1, and Q1, that is the input symbol 0, and the Q1, that is the input symbol is the 1, Q naught input symbol is the 0. Q naught input symbol is 1. Q1 input symbol 0. Q1 input symbol is 1. And next Q2 input symbol is the 0 and Q2 input symbol is the 1. In this diagram, Q naught and input symbol is the 0, that is we will move on the next state, that is the Q0. Q0 input symbol is the 0 and we moves on the next state, that is the Q0. And Q naught input symbol is 1, input symbol is 1. In this case input symbol is 1 and state is the Q0, that is the next state is the Q1. Next state is the Q1. Now the state is the Q1 and input symbol is the 0, that is the state is the Q2. And Q1 input symbol is the 1, input symbol is the 1 and we will move on the next state, that is the Q0. Q1 and the input symbol is the 1. This is the Q1 and input symbol is the 1. The next state is Q0. And next is Q2 state, Q2, that is the input symbol is the 0. We will move on the state Q0 and Q2, that is the input symbol is the 1, that we will move on the next state, that is the Q. So this is the transition function. Now Q is the set of state. Here is the set of state is the Q0, Q1, Q2. Sigma is the input symbols, input alphabet. Here input alphabet is the only 2, that is the 0 and 1. And this is the transition function. How transition function perform? Transition function perform on basis of these functions: state, input alphabet, and we will move on the next state. This is the transition function on basis of this model. Okay. What is delta? On this term, this elements, what is the delta? Okay, basically delta is the output symbol. Delta is the output symbol. Here output symbol is A and B. In this case, output symbol A and B. What is lambda? This is output function. Lambda is the output function. How lambda perform? Q, that is the function of the output function. Basically lambda is the output function. This is the state and we moves on the output symbol, that is the delta. How here is the states Q0, Q1 and Q2. Q0 produce the output, that is the A. Q1 produce the output, that is the B, and Q2 is produce the output, that is the B. Q1 produce the output is the B and Q2 also produce the output, that is B. This is the output of the states, and this is the basically the lambda is the output function. Okay, so now we discuss again what is Moore machine. Moore machine, its output depends on its present state. or current states. Basically, this is the model. This is the computing model. Here is the tuples that is used in a Moore machine. That is the Q. Q is the set of state, and what is the sigma? Basically, sigma is the input symbols. Del, this is the transition function. Transition function perform like this. Q naught is the initial state. Q naught is the initial state. Here is the Q naught. This is the initial state. This is the delta that represents the output symbols, and this is the lambda that is the output function. Okay.